Where did I just lost it. Sorry. Alissa is a lifelong learner and values learning from other people's experiences. She has participated in a USF Foundation mentorship program and is currently mentored by Toastmaster Wesley Sherwood. Alissa will share with us today qualities to look for and avoid in mentorship protege relationships. Alissa is working on Motivational Strategies Level 2, Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. Alissa VanDeman, Successful Mentor Protege Experience. Successful Mentor Protege Experience, Alissa VanDeman. Scene change. Let me get you back on screen. There you go. Okay. Linda, she sat across the table from me, looking stern and stoic, almost like she'd rather be anywhere but across the table from me. Salt and peppered hair, deep wrinkles, and a stiff blazer, which inhibited her movements, defined her appearance. She was a busy lady, seemingly valuing busyness and appearances. I was the privileged one to be in her presence. Or was I? Good evening, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. This project about mentor and protege relationships came at a perfect time, as I am preparing to be a mentor for the first time to a younger person in my profession through the Association of Fundraising Professionals, or AFP. Jim, I think, is familiar with this group. Well, today I'd like to discuss qualities of a successful mentor-protege experience. There's 3 things to keep a lookout for. The first is experience and knowledge. The second is positive and supportive environment. And the third is commitment and being dependable. Now, in my late 30s, I was a little green around the edges when I received a promotion from being an assistant to a development officer. I wanted to know how to do this job successfully. What makes a great developer? Focus my efforts on. If you don't know what a development officer is, it is someone who works for typically a nonprofit or charity organization and helps raise money for that organization. Well, back then, I volunteered to participate in a mentorship program the first year I was a development officer at WUSF Public Media. There were weekly meetings and we were assigned mentors. This was our first meeting, Linda and I, mentor and protege. I valued the opportunity to learn from someone who was further along the journey and get someone like Linda. I was thrilled until we actually met and started communicating. So that first point that you should find valuable is experience and knowledge. I thought I had someone that had a lot of personal experience, wisdom, and an informed perspective. As I mentioned, I was thrilled because she had been in the profession for decades. She was experienced and knowledgeable. She had an informed perspective. But the more I got to know her, it wasn't necessarily the perspective I wanted to learn about. She voiced that she was disillusioned by the bureaucracy of the university. She was bitter and unhappy in her position. So I learned something. I learned how I did not want to be in 10 years down the road. I learned that having experience and knowledge doesn't necessarily make a person wise or successful. So that brings us to our point number 2 of having a positive and supportive environment. As a mentor, I was expecting successful strategies and like unconditional support. However, it was clear that I wasn't going to experience that. That made me realize that as a protege, the day that I become a mentor, that I want to create that environment for any protege that I might mentor. I would reach out to Linda over email, looking for successful strategies or support. I would receive empty encouragement and the just keep at it feedback. This mentorship relationship lacked a connection I had expected to experience. I learned something. I learned that I didn't want to be this type of mentor in the future. I'd look for a real connection with the protege and comment what I see that is working and not working, either in their work or the relationship or whatever they brought to me. Point number 3, being committed and dependable. Part of that is being prepared and being present. Linda didn't get off the air that she was committed to my growth, but I could depend on her to reply to my emails or return my phone calls. So I have to give her credit for that. She expected me to drive the relationship, which I did, however pointless it felt at times. I thought that was good of her, that I, as the protege, drive the relationship. I learned something. I learned the value of showing up and being committed to someone in my words and action. So in conclusion, I still believe that mentorship relationship can be successful when both parties have some experience and knowledge, are present and supportive, as well as committed and dependable. When you will get out of the relationship what you put in without embellishment. The last time I saw Linda, I think she was giving a campus tour to a couple elderly gentlemen. They were walking outside, so they were walking towards a golf cart. They were climbing in. Linda and I met eyes, and I waved, saying, "Hi." There was no flash of acknowledgement or recognition on her face. She turned, sat down in the golf cart with her passengers, and zoomed off down the sidewalk, leaving me standing there stunned, frozen in my tracks from this slight. Wow. Did you know the very next day, the university sent out an announcement that she was let go? Toastmaster?
Masters, no guests, and Alissa. Alissa gave a speech tonight that I thought was clear, concise, and compact. And I will explain those 3 points because I believe we can all get a lot out of, 1, how to tell a speech, how to deliver a speech, and 2, how to be clear about what you're presenting. And I have just a couple of comments, but let me begin. So Alissa, I believe your speech was pretty much educational to me. You talked about how mentoring, mentoring a protege, and how you looked forward in your opening, you look forward to Linda being your mentor and what you can learn. And I think we all feel the same way when we start speaking. You're trying to look for those pointers that are good and get rid of those that aren't good. And it's difficult to learn in the beginning, but you structured your speech clearly. You took 3 points, and that's one way to do a speech. The opening, body, conclusion. That body is 3 points, and yours was what you were getting out or what you were getting from Linda. And that's the experience, the positive support, emotion, right? And also dependability. And you took the structure of your speech is you took each of these elements, and although I believe your speech was really a conflict, right? What you expected and what you received. And it was probably not exactly what you wanted, but even though you got something out of it. So for example, you took your first point, your experience, and you found the conflict in that, and you said there was, she wasn't persuasive, Linda wasn't persuasive. And though you did learn something from that, how to be persuasive when you deliver or when you become a mentor for a protege. The second one was positive, supportive environment. Again, you didn't want to be like that. So I like the story. I like the speech because of the simplicity, but the learning aspect of it. And then, of course, you had your last element, which is dependability. And you did find something there. Again, you learned from the mentorship and you found that she was dependable, and that's how you would be. In closing, you had your closing was connected to your opening. I like that. Get what you can, you get what you give. You could have stopped there. I think my only comment would be you didn't need the second part. It probably took away from your speech. I do look forward to more of your speeches, Alissa. Nice job. Mr. GE.